We gonna learn how to cook with love.
Chef Dana's here for you. He's gonna put love in the pan. In the pan. Taste and see. Love in the pan. In the pan. He's gonna put love in the pan. In the pan. Taste and see, it's all good. Love in the pan.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Emery.
Hi,
Hey,
Cookie.
Hi, Emery. Hi, Emery. How are you feeling?
Fine, hanging in there.
I'm doing well.
Hey, Emery. What's up, baby sister?
Hi.
Who's that? Hi. I'm getting out the way. I'm not.
Not cooking. Hi.
Hey, peoples.
Everybody doing good?
Hi, Novi. Say hi, Bo.
Oh, look at that cutie.
There's been power outages in different places today. Constance had a power outage, so she's not sure if she's going to be on or not.
Oh.
Yeah, so she's waiting to see if her power.
Yes.
Okay. My lights actually flickered a little bit over here too. I was like, not today, Satan. Not today.
Our hospital had some.
But welcome. I'm just gonna grab a tissue real quick.
Huh? I'm about to cook. I'm not playing anything. I'm about to cook.
I'm sure. Show her. Look. Show her and show you glass. Nomi's ready. Look.
Novi.
All right.
Hi.
Nomi, you got a glass too? You had to have something too, Nomi?
You're supposed to sit.
There we go.
Look.
Down there.
Huh? Oh my God, there you were.
She's juggling her apples.
Chikay.
All right. So you guys ready to cook?
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, guys, I'm ready.
I'm so happy to see y'all. Oh my gosh.
All right. So the easiest way
I'm
to
the
do this
videographer on
is
my end.
I'm gonna have everybody go on mute.
Yeah, right?
So if everybody could push their mute button, this will be the easiest way. Everybody push their mute button, and then whenever you want to talk, this is the nice part about having a smaller group is anytime you want to talk, you just hit the unmute button and just ask your question. There we go. So tonight we're going to do 3 things. One is that we're going to, let's do this first, and then I'll tell you, make sure we got the menu right, so we can warm up everything. First things first, let's go over here to your oven, and let's turn that on to 350. Now, if you guys have a conventional oven, it's going to be 350. If you have a oven that has a fan in it, you're going to do 325. That means you have a convection oven. If you see the little fan spinning on the inside. Our pans here. So I got a pot here for my pasta. And we're going to want to put some water in there. So let's put some water in our pot. I'm going to go ahead and start with some warm water, so it won't take me long to get there. There we go. I'm going to put some water in the pot, and that way we'll get that warming up. Okay, so I got my pot of water. Let's take it over here to the stove. I'm gonna put it in the back. And let's see, where's the back burner? Right there. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on high so I can get that pot boiling pretty quick. This one here, we're gonna have a saute pan. So we're gonna need something to do our chicken in. We're gonna end up searing the chicken, and then we're gonna put it in the oven. Now, if you don't have a pan that can just boom, go in the oven and have a metal handle, then you could transfer the chicken to like a pan like this one. which I'll pull mine out of here. You could have some pans like these and just pop your chicken in the oven, okay? So if you don't have a pan that can go in the oven, don't worry. Pop it on a little sheet pan, toss it right in. I'm gonna put my saute pan on the stove and I'm gonna warm that up probably to like almost a medium heat, a low, medium, just to get it warm. So that way, when we're ready to really jam, we can turn the heat up just a little bit. The pan's ready to go. Same thing for my second saute pan. I'm gonna use this guy here for my spinach. I'm gonna turn that on a low heat also, a low medium, just to get them warmer. All right, that's our little quick prep. Heating up our pans, got our water going in the back. I got my pan there for chicken. I have my pan here for the spinach. I'm gonna grab my pasta noodles out the cabinet here. And I'm gonna just have those pasta noodles waiting over there by the stove for when I need them. Voila. Got my linguine right there. So to review the menu, we have a honey and rosemary chicken. We have a bruschetta pasta, and we have the spinach with the golden raisins and pine nuts and garlic and balsamic and so forth. So if there's any confusion, my apologies, but I know the menu did change a couple days ago. But that's what we're doing tonight. So you should have the honey and rosemary chicken. You should have that bruschetta pasta, and you should have the spinach with the sauteed onions. The link to it was in that updated email that I sent. If you have the old one, then the old one would have said, I believe it had like a mushroom pasta in it, which is good. So you guys can cook that at home. Really good, but this is what we're gonna do tonight. All right, so looking at the honey and rosemary chicken recipe. Because I create all these recipes, every recipe I do, I pretty much do from scratch and it's new, and I see I left the word honey over there. So does everybody, if you wanna unmute and say yes or no, does everybody have some honey at the house? And if you don't, I'm gonna tell you the alternative.
I got regular onion. Yes.
You got regular honey? Cool.
No, I'm not using honey. I'm sweet enough. I'm just gonna use me.
I love it.
I know you related. I know you're related to Cookie. I see it already. All right. So as long as everybody's got some honey, we rock and roll with this. Does everybody mustard in their house? Yes, no?
Can you repeat that, Dana?
Do you guys have honey and do you have mustard at the house?
Yes.
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 That's cool. All right. Let's have some honey on deck. Let's have a little bit of mustard on deck. I'm gonna grab mine too. Cool. All right. So we're gonna jump into this recipe. Some of you guys might have prepped ahead of time. Some of you might not have. We're gonna start off with the chicken because the chicken's gonna have to go in the oven. So the process for the chicken is we are going to cut a slit in our chicken. We're gonna put the rosemary in there, right? And then we're gonna saute the chicken. And then we're going to pop it in the oven, all right? So if you have your chicken, just like mine, I'm gonna cut a slit in there. Okay, see right here how I just cut that little pocket in there? Just like that. I'm gonna take my chicken breast, cut my pockets in there. Just so we can make a hole in there, just like that. Doesn't have to be all the way through. All right, then I'm gonna take my rosemary. And we're just gonna jam that rosemary right down in there. Just like that. This will give us some additional flavor while she's cooking. You know, it's a big piece of meat, so a lot of times trying to get that meat flavorful is a challenge, but you you get some herbs in there and you let some heat get to it. She'll be real nice. So we're just gonna stuff it full of herbs just like that. All right, everybody got that step? All right, so got my chicken here. I'm gonna get rid of this cutting board and this knife. I'm gonna take it to the sink because it's got chicken juice on it. We don't want to cross contaminate. Make anybody sick. I'll wash my hands real quick, and then we're gonna get into the chicken. Okay. And everybody knows during this situation that we're in right now, the key thing that we can be doing a lot is washing hands. So safe. Okay. All right. So we got our chicken here. Let's head over here to the stove. We're gonna do a little sauteing. I'm gonna grab my tongs and take them with me. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil in this pan. All right. Oh, we're gonna season the chicken. Yeah, just a little salt and pepper. But we're gonna get that oil in the pan. We want to make sure she's nice and warm. Let's go ahead and take our saute pan heat up to medium. While we have the oil in our hand, also let's put a little bit of oil in that pasta pot so that our noodles don't stick. Okay. Also, while we're here and hanging out, if you want to take a strainer and put it in your sink for straining your pasta noodles, now would be a good time to do so. Just have it sitting in your sink because we will strain the noodles once they're done cooking. All right, so making sure my oil is evenly around the pan. My pasta pot is getting ready to boil. What about you guys? Is your pasta pot getting ready to boil?
Yes. Yes.
All right, cool. So when that pasta pot comes to a boil, we're gonna add our linguine in there. Now with the linguine, we're kind of going for, you can al dente, depends how you like your pasta. I don't like my pasta like really super soft. I guess just a tiny bit of body to it. And when we bring the pasta out of there, we will shock it with just a little bit of water real quick. Doesn't have to be like cold, but we're just get it out cooking stage. So if you're we're gonna get ready to put the pasta in there. But first thing is let's do this chicken. So you got your chicken,
no
right?
salt in the pasta water.
Yep, you can put some salt in your pasta water.
Okay.
Absolutely. We could do that right now because it's almost ready to boil. Put a little bit in there. When I worked at the Four Seasons, we seasoned like every water pot. Man. We put all kinds of things in there. Red pepper flakes and different seasonings to do different things. So on our chicken here, it's important that we season with some salt and pepper. I prefer kosher salt. To me, the iodized salt, and God bless us, I remember grandmoms, we grew up on that. The little Mortons, everybody had the Mortons in their house growing up. She had that salt on the regular, but kosher is better. Not so many chemicals in it. All right, we're gonna hit it with a little salt and pepper here. My chicken is big. I don't know where they're growing these chickens. But we're gonna take that over here. We're gonna go right to the pan.
Yes, your chicken is kind of big.
And my chicken is kind of big. I don't know where they're finding these. I really don't. All right, but we're gonna saute our chicken, and you heard it sizzling like that. That's what we want to hear. Just like that. If your pan is hot, it should make that sound right there. If you ever had greasy food, chances are the reason the food was greasy was because they started with a cold pan. 90% of the time. Because you notice, like, even when you have, say, like a French fry, Normally the French fry, yes, it's cooked in oil, but it doesn't seem so greasy. That's because the oil is hot. So same thing with your food when you're searing foods, whether it's chicken, whether it's vegetables. If it's hot, it's going to sear the outside shut, so not so much to penetrate it and get inside of it, other than the heat. But if you start with a cold pan and cold oil, I guarantee you're going to have greasy food. So I'm sauteing here. We just really want to saute it till we get some color on there. I'm going to give it another second, and then I'm going to flip it. I see my pot is boiling back there. So let's take some noodles and let's throw them in the pot. Everybody take your noodles right now, and we're going to throw them in the pot. Ooh, it's hot. There we go. And I'm going to take my tongs. I'm just going to push them down in there. Because as they get in that hot water, they'll bend a little bit. We'll get in there. Okay. So we got our linguine in the pot. We got the oil in there, so she's stick. And then I'm going to chuck it. My big Brontosaurus chicken. Anybody's chicken starting to brown yet?
Yes.
If it is starting to brown, flip it.
Okay.
You don't hear that sizzle?
Depending on how thick your chicken is. If it's, yep, you should be hearing that sizzle. While it's on this side, also, I'm going to season the chicken. Just like that. With a little bit more salt and pepper before I flip it on the next side. But basically, when we flip it, we want to season in there. Okay. I'm going to flip my chicken now. And I'm going to start to do the other side. And then she's going to go in the oven. Oh, no, wait a minute. There we go. All right. So we're going to let our chicken sizzle for a second. And then we be prepared to put it into the oven. We got our pasta going in the back. Just keep an eye on it. Don't overcook your noodles. I'm going to keep an eye on mine ever so often. All right. And then we're going to step back over here. And we're going to work on the bruschetta mix for the chicken. I'm sorry, the bruschetta for the pasta. It's been a long week. Okay. So let's recap. We got our chicken sauteed. Once it's browned on both sides, if yours browns before mine, let's send it to the oven, okay? That's number one. Number two, we have our pasta going back there. Let's keep an eye on that. Once it's cooked, we need to take it to the sink, strain it, hit it with just a little bit of cold water just to shock it, just to keep it from continually cooking. And then we're going to get into this bruschetta. I'm just peeking at my linguine just to make sure we're good. Okay, good. All right. So let's dive into our bruschetta for the pasta. So for the bruschetta, that was on the updated recipes that you had. You should have some tomatoes. You should have some onions. We have garlic, oregano, basil, some scallions, and we should have what else? Am I missing something? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, pecorino romano. The pecorino romano is what we use at the end, and you should have a little bit of olive oil to pull it all together. So that's what we should have. The green onions, the garlic, some basil leaves, the oregano, the olive oil, pecorino romano for the end, and salt and pepper for the end. I do have a little bit of diced onions I have left over. I might throw that in my bruschetta also. Bruschetta is like one of those things where as long as you have those core ingredients, tomatoes, basil, garlic, you can play with it. All right. So given this situation, use what you have in your fridge. So here today, I have some tomatoes. You can use the large ripe tomatoes. You can use plum tomatoes. I even have these ones here. These little cherry guys in the multiple colors. So I'm going to use some of that too. So let's dice our tomatoes, everybody. Let's grab these tomatoes and we're going to start dicing them, chopping them up.
My
You
medium
can dice them
process
small,
done.
you can have them, you can rough chop them.
Did you ask your 5-year-old for permission to use her
Did
tomatoes?
I ask my 5-year-old for her permission to use her tomato? No, I did not, because she was not a financial contributor of those tomatoes. So no, I housed her tomatoes. All right, everybody check your pasta. Mine's not quite there, but it's getting loose. We're heading there. We're heading there.
No, he's stealing from the baby. Stealing from the baby.
Yeah. I help make her. All right, so let's cut up our tomatoes. And again, the tomato size is up to you. You can finely dice them. You could largely dice. It depends on your preference. But the whole thing is that we have the flavor in there. Just be careful. Watch those fingers. I'm feeling the halves on these little guys. If I had a bigger tomato like this one here, I'm gonna cut it smaller. But these little guys, I might just do halves. They look kind of cute. Okay. And once we got our tomatoes in half, we're gonna put them in the bowl. And then after the tomatoes, we're going to cut up the green onions. We're going to cut up that garlic, and we're going to cut up the basil and the oregano. I'll show you a trick for basil that looks real cool too. Oh, these are good tomatoes. They're right. They're nice and juicy. You might try to get me, but it's just not fast enough. So if you guys don't know, I know Cookie from way back, way back when we were in college. Cookie and I were RAs together up at the towers at good old University of Delaware. Cookie, that's a shame.
That's how I met you, isn't it?
She's like, oh yeah. Yeah, I think Cookie, weren't you in the you were in the East Tower, right? And I was in the West Tower.
I forgot about that.
All right, so I'm about to send my chicken here to the I just started to get some color there. I'm gonna send my chicken to the oven. Yep. All right, this time. Chicken's going to the oven for me, everybody. Toss that chicken in if she's ready. I'm gonna check my pasta again. Let's see. Let's check the noodle. I think she's getting pretty close. All right, let me check one. Mine's almost there. How's everybody else's noodles? You guys close?
No.
Or are you guys behind me a little bit? How's your noodles?
Bottom boil. My mom said my pot was too thick.
Oh, your pot's taking a little longer?
Yeah.
We're good now.
Got you. No worries. No worries. I'm gonna remove mine now because mine I think is just about there. All right, don't laugh at me with my little Pillsbury Doughboy oven mitt here.
So everybody, so Nomi has known Dana since she was little, and when she was learning how to talk, she decided to start calling Dana the Muffin Man.
Cookie, why are you throwing my business in the street?
So Dana is the Muffin Man.
Yeah, I sure am. I'm her
They're
muffin
laughing
man.
because they know my child.
Yeah, she's like, the Muffin Man? I was like, I guess I got a new nickname. My normal nickname in the cake world is the Sugar Daddy. And she done hooked me up with a new one, the Muffin Man.
Right.
All right.
I like that.
All right, here. I'm going to put my other pan. I'm going to put my spinach pan just a little closer to my final destination here, but I'm going to bring the heat back to a medium low so I don't crank it up too much. I got my pasta here. I just poured it out. I'm going to spray it with just a little bit of cold water just to shock it for a second. I don't have to like totally make it cold, but I just want to get it out of that boiling phase so that it doesn't keep cooking there. The oil will keep it from sticking, but I just wanted to get it away from being super hot. Okay, and potentially overcooked. All right, so got my noodles right here. Okay, so we got our noodles right here. I'm just gonna leave those right in front, let them hang out for right now. And I'm going to keep going on this bruschetta. So we got our tomatoes. I'm gonna finish spicing that. If you guys are over there dicing with me, just watch those fingers. One of the things they taught us chefs about knives was that when we were cutting, if you notice, I kind of keep these fingers back all the time. And that's what keeps you from getting cut. That's what lets them be able to go like really fast. When you're watching TV and it's looking like a blur, it's because they got that technique down. So what it is that, say I have my tomatoes here. When I go to cut them, I have this sort of grip. So my thumb is not hanging out, it's tucked back behind it. And then with this claw grip, I can go as fast as I want because as long as I do the claw, my fingers are never hanging out and I never get cut. And as long as the knife doesn't go above your finger, you can't cut yourself. So when they're over there and they're going like, that's what they're really doing. Yep, you keep the knife kind of on the board and let it just rock instead of what your mind might think is coming up and coming down and chopping. This is really rocking. All right, so we got our diced tomatoes right there. We got our colorful tomatoes right there. Thank you to Michaela for being my silent investor. Because Daddy did take your tomatoes, but they look good. All right. There we go. I can hear my daughter sniffing on me now. Get Kayla. Get Kayla. Daddy done stole the tomatoes. Get Kayla. Got a little bunch of snitches going on back here. All right. So our next move is let's cut up these green beans, which we got right here. Same thing. Keep them fingers tucked back. Cut up those green onions. Get rid of that little end. Now you can use just about all of the green onion. A lot of times we'll cut them up and we will just get rid of the white part, but you can use that part. Just keep cutting all the way to the end. All right. Okay. Just like that. And get rid of my little bit of waste here. And the con. All right. So now we've got our tomatoes and onions cut. Let's go to garlic. Chop that up real small. Garlic is good, but Lord knows you don't want a mouthful of it, right? I think that kind of reminds me of my pledging days when I was joining the frat. We were young, we ate all kinds of stuff. All right, so let's cut our garlic up real small. Real small. Like once you get it chopped one way, just let that knife rock right through there and get it even smaller. So now that I got it kind of chopped up, I'm gonna go back through here just like this. And get the bits even smaller. This way into a pile. Put a little more. Just like that. All right. Get that back in the bowl. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the basil. Let's do oregano first. Everybody got your oregano? There's my oregano. So I'll wipe my board here for a sec. And let's chop that oregano up. I'm going to get rid of a few of the stems here. Just like that.
Okay.
I see you, Emery. I got the same thing.
Cookies waving something. Okay, so
Sure.
you got that oregano? You good? Just go ahead and measure it out. Cookie said my oregano's already done, Chef. It's ready to go. You good? So I'm just gonna cut up my oregano so I can get where Cookie is. She got her oregano all ready to go. Okay. And then the next one is we're gonna go basil. Now, if you don't have the fresh basil, you can use the other one. All right, let me get my oregano back here. So once we get this all chopped up, what we're gonna hurry up and do is we're going to mix up our sauce for our chicken, and then we're gonna pour it on there while it's cooking in the oven. We got that. We got our basil, and then our next move is we're going to be making the sauce for the chicken, and then we're going to throw it on the chicken that's in the oven. Okay, so I got my basil. If you're using the one from the bottle there, totally cool. If you're doing it from fresh basil, let me show you real quick. Do this thing called chiffonade, which is nice thin slices. You can see how it makes little ribbons. And I kind of rolled it up, so then when I cut it, I get nice little long pieces out of most of it. Every once in a while, you got some little leaves that don't want to be nice, but you can see how like it comes out in these little strings just like this. Okay, so we got our basil. So now we got all the ingredients for the bruschetta. The only thing that's missing is a little bit of oil, salt, and pepper, pecorino romano at the end. But that's basically the base for our pasta. Okay. All right. I'm gonna wipe my board real quick, and then let's get ready to do this sauce. Sauce is simple and easy. All right. So for our sauce, which is on the front page of your recipe list there, you should have zest of a lemon. Here's my lemon. Here's my zester. Lemon zest can have some kick to it. If you don't want it super lemony, only use a little bit. If you like a lot of lemon, add a little more. The oils in the lemon surprisingly got a lot of juice to it, okay? Next one is, so we're gonna have the juice of the lemon, the zest of the lemon. We have our oil right here. We have the, let's see, our garlic. right here, our salt, and our red pepper flakes, and we have a little bit of pepper. Okay, and we have our honey, and we have our Dijon mustard. So first things first, I'm gonna zest the lemon. I like lemon, but I don't like it to get too carried away. As you zest your lemon, when you start to see a little bit of white, ease off, because the white is what really makes it sour. That's called the pith, P-I-T-H. There we go. So I'm gonna stop there. For me, that's enough lemon zest. Okay. Into our bowl there. Next, I'm gonna cut that lemon in half, and we're gonna juice that bad boy. We're gonna squeeze that lemon juice in there. Just like that. All right. Next, let's go for the cloves of garlic. Chop them up. Now, the nice part about this one is this garlic's going to be cooked in the oven. So if you want it to be a little bit larger, you could. If you like that roasted garlic kind of feel, like see how they're like almost like little medallions like that, you could do that. All right, so I'm going to throw that in my sauce. Next, I'm going to add the salt. Everybody should be going for their pepper. We're going to go for the red pepper flakes. Come on out of there. That'll give it just a little bit of heat. We're going to go with our oil. All right, next thing, we're going to go with a tablespoon of the Dijon mustard. My wife's giving me a face because she's not a mustard fan. Daddy likes mustard. All right, so about a tablespoon. That's a tablespoon. I do it every day. That's a tablespoon. And then we're going to go with about 3 tablespoons of honey. Mm-hmm.
How much mustard did you just use?
A tablespoon.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. And then we're going to go with about 3 to 4 tablespoons of the honey. Okay. And then I'm going to mix that up. So in your sauce there, you should have the honey, which is about 3 to 4 tablespoons, depending on how sweet you want it. I'm on the sweeter side, so I put like 4 tablespoons in it. I put 1 tablespoon of the mustard. We have the garlic, which was 1 clove. We have the salt. We have the pepper. We have the red pepper flakes. And I'm just mixing it around with that little bit of oil. So in a sense, it just makes sense for you. You kind of just made a vinaigrette. Like if I diced up that garlic like really, really, really tiny, basically what you have is a vinaigrette. The mustard is your binder, which holds the sauce together, which holds the wet ingredients with the oil, that juice, that lemon juice with the oil. The mustard is what's keeping it together. All right, so I'm gonna break out my little Pillsbury Doughboy hookup here again. Don't judge me. I'm gonna pull my chicken from the oven that's been cooking. Not quite done yet, but we're gonna put some sauce on it. So I'm gonna put this sauce right on that chicken. I'm gonna put it back in there and let her cook with that sauce on there and the sauce in the pan. All right. Put the love in the pan. You got it. All right. So we're going back in the oven with that. I'm gonna let that keep going. So right now, just so you guys are caught up, let's review where we're at. So we should have our chicken in the oven with the sauce on. If everybody could let me know that we have the chicken in the oven with the sauce on it right now. Everybody good? You got unmute, say I'm right, I'm with you. This is the beauty of a small view. You looking good? All right. Everybody else looking good?
All right, we there.
We're there? Okay.
Yes,
Good.
we're good. We're good over here too.
You're good over there too? All right. Awesome.
Exactly. I just want to make sure we there too. Not sure.
With my baby sister over there, the middle.
How is your how are your noodles doing?
They sitting right here.
Yeah,
They sitting right there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So you got your noodles out the pot. We say mama said you got a heavy pot. The heavy pot is
Right
done though,
here,
right?
Dana, stop it.
All right.
Dana, you make it
All right.
bad.
She's like, proof. Bam, there it is. All right. So our next thing, pardon me, is let's do the let's get the spinach going. All right. So over here on the stove, we have the pan there. The medium heat. We have our raisins over there. We have our pine nuts over there. We have the balsamic over there. I have my garlic. The garlic you're gonna need to chop, the clove of garlic for the spinach. So go ahead and chop your clove of garlic. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. For all the little people, they're probably singing the happy birthday song while they're doing this. Anybody y'all, any of y'all got little ones like I do? And they're teaching them in school, sing the happy birthday song to yourself. By the time you've done the happy birthday song, your hands busy too. All right. Let me get my little towel here. Dry them off. All right. Good.
Oh, the little voice that she hears.
That's my wife, Natisha, aka Natisha Spielberg. That's that would be her live name, because she is my camerawoman. I'm gonna cut it up. You guys might be just a little bit ahead of me. I'll watch. So I'm going to carefully slice the garlic that way, just like this.
Oh, garlic, okay.
Yep, that's the garlic getting chopped right there. Just want to get it smaller. Yep. Another way you can do garlic if you want a different flavor. A lot of these recipes, right, they call for garlic in the sauteing pan. But if you want something a little different that still tastes amazing, take your garlic cloves, hit it with just a little bit of oil, and then wrap it in tin foil and throw it in the oven. Roasted garlic is like, yes. Yes, Lord. Okay, so we got our garlic. I'm gonna put that back over here. Let me grab my spinach. I'm gonna bring this over here. So now we're over by the stove. Come on over. This is real simple. These are our ingredients again. Garlic, pine nuts, raisins, balsamic, and the spinach.
Could you toast the pine nuts ahead of time if you wanted to?
Could you toast your pine nuts ahead of time? Great question. Absolutely. Here's what we're going to do this time. We are going to do, I got oil here in the pan, and because my pan's hot, the oil's heating up real quick, which is great. I'm going to bring the heat up just a little bit more. Why are you taking away the suspense?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You just totally killed that for me. Thank you. So we're going to toast the pine nuts in the pan with the raisins, sauteed garlic, etc. Did she not just steal my thunder? I'm telling you. So we're going to throw these nuts in the pan. Just like that. You should hear that sizzle. Remember, the sizzle means that we're cooking with heat. We got a little love going on in the pan. All right. Nut toasting. We got our garlic on. All right. So that's what you should see going on in the pan. Everybody got that going on? Oh man, that smells good. Hello. Daddy's got it going on. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our raisins in there. Get those sauteed. Now I have golden raisins. If you can't find the golden raisins at the store, you can use the regular raisins. I just like them because they're a little brighter. You can actually see them in the spinach and so forth. I'm just moving them around a bit, letting them get nice and hot. Our nuts are looking good. Smells citrusy? Well, you kind of smell the sugar from the, you should smell a little bit of the sugar from the raisin. You should smell the pine nuts toasting. You should smell some garlic. Just like that. And now, that's going. All right, so I'm gonna take some spinach to the pan, right on top of here. Let that start wilting. Now, if you want the wilting process here, that saute process to go just a tiny bit faster, you can take just a tiny touch of water, just a little bit, and just give it a little sprinkle. You heard that right there? Yeah, you give it just a little sprinkle. And it's like your spinach is saying, oh, you want me to do my thing? Okay, no problem. So I'm just gonna move my spinach around a little bit. But she's really gonna do her thing, which is saute, move around a little bit. You can see right there, you can see the spinach are already starting to wilt and everything. One thing about spinach, you know, you can buy this big bag in the store. As soon as that heat hits it, boy, you're like, what happened to that big bag of spinach? Right. So our spinach is sauteing here. I see it breaking down. If you want to add a little bit more to yours, now you can. Because I know in the beginning, the pan is just like so full. All right. I'm gonna add a little bit more to my pan because as you can see, mine is really coming down. And then I'm gonna get ready to add the balsamic. So when I add the balsamic, it's gonna be the same thing. I'm gonna get a lot of that sizzle. So you should have now your balsamic vinegar. All right. We're gonna add that to there. The balsamic is a nice touch because out of all the vinegar, it does have some sugars to it. That's why a lot of times you see people making balsamic glazes for chicken and other things, because there is some sugar to that balsamic glaze. All right. Speaking of chicken, I'm just taking a peek at mine. Everybody take a peek at theirs. See how their chicken is looking. I remember my chicken was on steroids, so it might take a little longer. Okay. That's how mine's looking so far. I'm gonna put it back in. My chicken's just about there. Now, if I want a little more color on my chicken, what I'm gonna do is, in a couple minutes, once we get the bruschetta all pulled together, is that I'm going to turn my broiler up so I can get a little color on that chicken. A little more color. All right, so I'm just moving that around. Okay, so we got our spinach going on. Just like that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and kill the heat because she's gonna go the rest of the way. I can really pull her off the heat, okay? So that's our spinach.
Okay.
All right, let's go back over here, and I'm going to finish now the bruschetta pasta. So I got a bowl that I'm gonna mix everything in. We got that going on right here. I have my pasta noodles right here. So to that, let's see, let's look at our recipe here for bruschetta. There we go. So we're gonna bring all these ingredients together. Our tomatoes, the basil, the oregano, the scallions, the garlic. I'm gonna dump those into the bowl. That's our tomato. That's my oregano. We have the basil. Okay. I have my green onions. I have my garlic. So you see we got tons of flavor in the bowl, tons of color. I'm gonna sprinkle in just a little bit of onions. Because I had some in the fridge. I'm gonna use them up. And I need a little bit of my oil. So we're gonna put our oil in there. Okay, great. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of salt and pepper. A little bit of our kosher salt. Okay, and we're gonna do our pepper. Salt without pepper is kind of like peanut butter and no jelly. Can't have one without the other. I'm gonna mix it around a little bit before I put my pasta in there. Okay. Now, in some bruschettas, if you like, because I know we have it on tonight's menu, if you like a little touch of balsamic, go ahead and throw it in there. If you like your bruschetta to have a little bit of tang, go ahead and throw some balsamic in there. It tastes great. Like you could do like a tablespoon in there or 2 tablespoons. It'll taste good also. All right. So that's my little colorful mixture here. Let's, next I'm gonna add my pasta. But what, you know what? Before I add the pasta, remember the note I was saying about the chicken? I'm gonna turn my oven up, my broiler, on my chicken. I want mine to get a little bit of color. I'm gonna baste my chicken real quick. Wait a minute, where's my dough boy? There's the dough boy. All right. Let's pull that out here. I'm gonna baste my chicken real quick. So this is what I have going on. All right. I'm gonna baste it real quick. But I'm gonna turn the broiler on. So see, like my garlic that's up here that's been cooking, it's gonna get nice and toasty. Grab this here. I'm gonna spoon a little bit of my sauce on top. Okay. And then I'm gonna go right to the oven. My broiler is on. I can see that my broiler is lit up, nice and red. Broilers cook quick, I'm saying. All right, so when you shut this, just remember, you're on the clock. We're gonna go back over here. I got my pasta. So I'll throw that linguine in there. You can use your hands if you want to. There you go. All right. Make sure she's loosened up there. I got one piece of linguine that was trying to stick there. All right. Now imagine if we didn't run the cold water on there. It would really be sticky. All right. So I'm gonna take my bowl. And now I'm gonna toss those veggies. Do that. Just wrap it around, toss it in there. We want all those veggies to kind of go through your pasta and so forth. Okay.
Is this more of a cold pasta?
It's kind of like a cold / room temperature kind of pasta. Now, if you wanted it to be hot, you could. Like you could take the pasta like right when it's hot, have your mixture already made, slam it together, and it would be more of a warm pasta. This is more just like a cool pasta. Not necessarily a cold pasta, but it's not necessarily a piping hot one either. But you could, and it would taste good. You can even take the ingredients from the bruschetta, throw it on the stove real quick, and then throw it on top of some warm pasta. That would be good too.
This would be good with
All
some
right, so this is what my pasta looks like. How's everybody's pasta look?
Getting there.
You getting there? The mixing? Okay. Cookie, you got some people that can cook in your family, huh? All right.
When we want to.
I know. All right, so that's my pasta right there. Now, you can serve it right from that dish. And I have my pecorino romano. I'm gonna grab a little bit. Just gonna shade some in there. All right, and I'm just gonna put a few little pieces in there because I am a pecorino lover. And good. All right, so we got a little pecorino romano on pasta. Da-da-da-da. That is your pasta. All right. Next thing is we have our chicken. Let's check our chicken. I told you. Didn't I tell you? See my little pieces of garlic on top? How they got nice and crispy real quick? I told you, watch that oven. She'll run from you. She will definitely run from you. All right, so I pulled my chicken out the oven. So check your chicken, pull it out the oven, and make sure that it's not burning up. Huh?
It looks good. It's all like crispy and stuff.
Yes, that's what we want. That's what we want. That's that love in the pan.
Yes.
All right. Now I'm gonna grab here for my chicken. I'm gonna grab a dish here to put my spinach in. Sometimes I plate it like I'm in a restaurant. Sometimes I do it family style. Today is all about family food and fun, so I'm gonna do it family style. Cause like when I was growing up, you know, a lot of times I know you guys can test this. Your parents had to work. You go together for a hot second in the morning, getting ready, and then poof, everybody vanished like a bunch of roaches, off to school, off to work, etc. But the one place you could find everybody was at the dinner table. So for me, food really translated into love. Because at the dinner table, there was laughter, there was joking, there was crying, all kinds of things at the dinner table, but that's where the love was happening. All right, so let me grab my spinach. And we're gonna put it in our dish. Oh, look at that. Got the toasted pine nuts, got the raisins, got a little garlic. That is smelling awesome. Oh yeah, it's right. I'm serious. Okay. And then to finish that off, we just put a little bit of pecorino romano on top. So I got my thing here. I'm gonna hit it with just a little bit of cheese shreds. This gives it just a little bit of contrast. All right. Okay. That's looking great. All right, so that is our spinach. Who am I kidding? I love pecorino. We're gonna add a little more. Let's keep it 100, right? We're between family. So
I heard this was someone's favorite from the other night.
Look, my wife over here snitching. All right. So our last item that I'm gonna put here is the chicken. So we got our spinach, we got our pasta, and now I'm gonna go for the chicken. Let me put my Pillsbury back on. Okay. So everybody's chicken should be looking pretty scrumptious. That's even worse. All right, so I have my chicken here. Now check it out. We got all this juice in the pan, right? What do y'all think we should do with it? Should we pour it on right now? Wait, don't do it. Don't do it. We got our stove on, right? Stove still got a little heat. Give it about 2 minutes on the heater. We're gonna go about 2 minutes, high heat. And we're gonna reduce this right here to something nice. So I got my heat on right here. I'm cranking her up too, so she won't take long at all. I already see her starting to do a little bubble. All right, yep. She's starting to move, so she's not gonna take long at all. What I wanna do is I wanna concentrate the flavors that are in that sauce. Because see, when the chicken was cooking, it released some juices, right? So it dilutes it a little bit. However, there's tons of flavor in that pan. So by me putting it on the heat real quick and reducing it just a little bit, it's gonna intensify the flavor, fortify the flavor, and I think you're gonna love it even more as a sauce for that chicken. So you got your crispy chicken with the garlic going on right here. My sauce is reducing just a little bit. Mine's bubbling. Is yours bubbling? Come on over here, hon. Show them how it's bubbling. And just be careful if you have your pan in the oven because the handle's gonna be hot. But you see how it's bubbling right here? That's what we're looking for. We want it to start reducing and everything. All right. I see some people going over to the stove. And mine is bubbling. It's reducing. I got mine on high heat. Your heat should be on high so that it reduces pretty quickly. And it should be just bubbling away. But as it's bubbling away, because it has the lemon juice in there, it's pulling the flavors out of the pan. Because as we were searing the chicken with the salt and pepper, this flavor is getting trapped in the pan. The acid is what opens it up and releases it and brings it out. So it should be in your liquid right there. And now because of the honey in there, because of the sugars that are in that sauce, once this starts to reduce, the sugars are going to help to tighten it a little bit and bring it to a nice consistency. So we probably have maybe about another 60 seconds or so on mine, because I'm on high heat and I'm reducing. Now, if your pan is bigger than mine and you have more surface area than I do, it's going to reduce even faster. So just keep an eye on it, because you're going to turn yours to syrup like pretty quick. Did somebody just say something? I'm gonna double check here for my consistency. Because once you can start to drag spatula or spoon through there, and as I'm moving it back and forth, I can start to see how, like, okay, if I have my spatula here and I go like this, I didn't see the line. Came from this side, I saw a line for a second. That means this side of my pan's cooking a little hotter than the other, so I'm gonna give it a stir just to balance it out. But pretty soon, you can see how the consistency is changing pretty quick now because of the high heat. Oh yeah, here it comes. The consistency is changing pretty quick now. See how, like, as I'm pushing it around, how it's starting to be able to cling to the side a little bit. I don't know your reduction's right now. Everybody getting that on their side? You getting reduction? Okay. We're almost there. Almost there. See how when I'm moving the spatula through, you see the pan for a hot second? When we're making stuff in the pastry kitchen, and we want to know what the consistency is. When we do that drag and we can see the pan for a second, we know that that consistency is there. That means when this sauce like cools down, it'll get even tighter. Okay. Now I think I'm ready to put some sauce on the chicken. Just gonna give it another stir real quick. Make sure it's nice, even consistency. Okay. That's gonna be some love in the pan. I need a spoon. I gotta try this. I'm over here smelling it, and this don't make no sense.
It smells delicious.
It does. I know it's gonna be hot. Hold on. Let me blow on a little bit. Yeah, that'll work. She tangy. She tangy, baby. She tangy. Sweet. She got that garlic in there. She got a little heat because of the red pepper flakes. I'm gonna kill the heat. She good. She good. I might have to sing that ludicrous song. My chick bad. I'm telling you. All right, guys. So I got my sauce here. I'm gonna pour it on this chicken. Boy, you so lucky to be married, because I'm telling you, I don't know if I have to share this. This is good. All right. Oh, that's right. My wife doesn't like mustard. However, I'm telling you, this right here might make you change your mind. All right. And so there we have it, guys. We have our 3 dishes of the evening. We have our chicken, the honey and rosemary chicken. Remember, when we did our chicken, we put the rosemary in there in the pocket. So as you cut it, just a reminder, you could pull that little piece of rosemary out and get a little twiggy parts. But we got the honey and rosemary chicken. At the end of the cooking process, we turn the broiler up. That's what gave us this pretty color, made some of our garlic get crispy on there and everything. We took the sauce and the juice that was left in the pan, that chicken juice, with the honey and the mustard, etc., put it back on the stove and reduced it to get a nice color like that. Next, we have the spinach. And then we have our bruschetta pasta. And there we go. That's our meal for the evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed cooking with me. I'm going to open it up right now to any questions that you guys might have. But thank you to Cookie for setting this up. Anybody that knows me knows, like, I live in the kitchen. I love to cook. And when she asked me about doing a family food and fun night, I was like, absolutely. I know you guys have been through a lot here with the epidemic, and it's just my pleasure to be able to spend a little bit of time with your family, doing something fun and uplifting, putting the love in the pain.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Now,
Look, I'm jealous. I saw a wine glass over there. Wait a minute. Hey, Nomi. Hey, Nomi, look, I guess on this job, I could do a little drinking. I could be like Julia Childs and have my glass of wine over here.
Yeah. Take pictures of your plates.
Oh, yes. I will take some pictures of the plates. And I'm glad you brought that up, Cookie. If you guys wouldn't mind taking some pictures of your plate, I would really appreciate it if you throw them out there on Facebook and Instagram. I'm over here burning my pan up.
Oh, no.
Let me move my pan.
Emery, send me a picture and send me a plate.
You want to see my picture? Hold on, Cheryl. Look. Got my chicken.
What is
got
that?
my chicken.
Is that potatoes?
Wait a minute. What was that?
Is that fried chicken?
That's my chicken. I don't eat.
Oh, you
Did you cut it up?
Oh, you cut the chicken up.
I eat chicken tenderloins. I don't eat chicken breast. And I
Well, you
got
didn't
my
have to
pasta.
cut them off. Where do you think chicken tenderloins come from?
Yeah, I use tenderloin too, but I ain't cut
I just okay, Kelly.
diced the tomatoes, not chicken.
Right. Okay. So you could take your chicken and throw it in that bruschetta.
Yeah,
that would be
You could
good.
throw the chicken in the bruschetta pasta and make like a pasta dish out of it. It'll taste good.
That's funny. Only Emery.
Like, wait a minute, I didn't see that in the instructions.
My food's getting cold. I'm not messing. Like, well, what is that?
That's funny.
Weezy, you like it?
No. Okay. I would like a little sample for everybody except Emery.
That is too
Oh my God, you got me crying.
Hey, Emery, see if
So I guess
You
at
got
Thanksgiving we're not going to Emery's.
Yeah, no, right? We are not.
that's my
Emery can bring the dessert. No worries.
Yeah.
right.
That is too funny.
I didn't cook, but it was.
That is funny. How does everybody else's look?
Oh,
I'll show you. Hold on.
It looks
I want to see y'all's plates. Let me see. What is that? You made
That's
it.
my spinach.
Oh, you didn't plate it?
We didn't see it.
Not
You
yet.
gotta hold it up
Here's
a little
my
longer.
pasta.
Hold your spinach up a little longer.
Oh, good job, Auntie.
Okay.
Here's my pasta.
Oh, that looks good.
Yay.
Where your pasta, Emery? Let me see it.
Oh. You see my bowl? Look at my bowl.
Look how pretty my chicken looks.
Okay.
That looks good, Cheryl.
Oh,
That looks
Isn't that
good.
pretty?
yep.
That's very pretty, but I'll do it.
That looks good.
Emery, I don't know what that is you got.
This was nice, Dana.
Well, I guess you were creative.
With the family.
Really nice.
That's
Well,
Cheryl.
thank you.
Weezy.
Yes.
The Danish chef. Oh, Titi. It's the Stop family. I'm with the whole family. She's nervous.
That TT.
She was shy. Yeah, she was shy.
She can.
Oh, okay. That look good. Mm-hmm. They done played hers. All right, hold on. I'll
Did
play.
he sleep?
I sure said, wait a minute, I'm gonna go play mine too. Okay, that looks. See how competitive. Why you gonna pull out a plate now? You had a bowl.
I was showing it with that Lisa family style. So now I'm gonna plate it.
Cheryl,
He was
jealousy.
cooking.
That's right. I'm jealous of Emery's.
I'm gonna eat my food.
What do you say? They messing with you, Emery. They messing with you.
They always messing with me.
Exactly.
As long as you didn't put any blueberries in the mac and cheese, you're good.
No.
You're good.
Stay in your lane.
Oh my God,
No,
it takes
no
real
raisins
wall.
in the potato salad. I do a lot of stuff. I
God.
haven't done that though.
Thank you,
Oh
Dana.
man. Thank you. It was so much
You
fun.
are welcome.
I want to see Cheryl
You
play.
are welcome.
Oh,
I'm
hold
glad
on
you
now,
guys
hold on now.
enjoy
I'm gonna
this.
show you.
It better be good. We waiting.
Hold on. Let me get my pasta on the plate.
Get ready to see the dish. Get ready to see the dish.
Hey, and I, Cheryl, Emery, if you like to teach
Y'all crying.
Say what now?
God, Dana crying.
Every we can do it before and after with yours. We'll just say before.
Yeah, right?
Before and after Dana. This is not a Dana.
Don't worry, Emery.
No, this is what it should look like. This is what I did.
We know this won't make the Food Network channel, will it?
Not at all.
All right.
I'll show you.
Oh gosh.
Okay, here you go. Hold up now. Hold up.
Stuff?
Yes, you know.
It's okay, Gordon Ramsay. Go ahead and wipe the rim of the plate.
Look, I'm trying to figure out how to get it on the camera. Hold up.
Oh,
you were looking
oh
at me.
man, that was so good.
Yes.
Yes, Cheryl, yes.
Jesus.
Take a picture.
Okay.
It's cute.
Everything pretty don't taste good, though.
Now,
No, girl.
No, she didn't.
no, she didn't. No, she didn't.
Yes. You don't.
No,
You don't.
It's okay. Thank you, Dana.
I taught you better than that.
Stay up on them or they gonna be up all night. Say good night.
All right. Well, I had a great time, guys. I really
Yes,
did.
thank you.
This was fun.
All right,
Thank
you
you.
guys have a wonderful
Emily, you can bring gold.
evening.
I got my paper plate.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Naomi.
I'll see you guys later. Bye.